Hey, how's it going, you guys? Sam from Otaku back again with another weekly news roundup for the week of 6/10/2019. We have a lot of news today, so we're going to hop right in. If you want to stay up to date with us, though, give us a follow on Twitter at the Otaku. It'll be right here, and we'll move right into the news story. In the first story of today, that we're going to be touching on something we talked about just last week, there was a teased big announcement to be made for the Boruto manga. I was speculating how it was going to be bi-monthly or bi-weekly. I'm not sure on what the correct term is, but it turns out the big announcement is that Boruto will be moving magazines, instead moving from Weekly Shonen Jump to V-Jump magazine. The first chapter to launch in its new home will be in the September issue of V-Jump on July 20th, which, short news story, a little disappointing. I was hoping we were going to get 2 chapters a month because it's so much better. And once a month mangas, they're so slow for me. It's like I forget. It's been too long by the time I get the next story. And moving on, if that last story left you wishing there was just a little bit more Naruto you could have in your life, well, let me just stop you right there because I might have the perfect thing for you. Sales have officially started for a life-sized Naruto figure. Sounds great, right? The figure is being sold out of Shanghai and costs about 2.4 million yen, which makes that about $22,000. Sales have officially started for this figure now that this year's Shanghai Wonderfest has officially begun and will continue until July 31st. After that, they will begin shipping this figure in October in the order that they were reserved. So if you want yours the quickest, reserve it now. So really, the question is, which one of you is the realest Naruto fan out there is going to get this? $22,000 is a lot of money for a life-size Naruto figure. I'm just going to say I once had just a lowly cardboard cutout of a Boba Fett that I brought over to my house and I set it up in my room. The amount of fucking scares you get from seeing a human-like shape standing next to your window is far too many. So pro tip, if you get this, put it somewhere that you won't think someone has broken into your house every time you see it. Maybe in like, I don't know, a closet under your bed. Might be a little less scary that way. Then now on to a bit more of figure news that I want to touch on. Megahouse has unveiled a beautiful looking Ace figure from the One Piece series. This new high quality figure from its Portrait of Pirates One Piece line went up for pre-order on June 7th and will run you about 22,000 yen, which translates to only $203, and will ship in November of 2019. I just last year read all of the One Piece manga, so I finally caught up on it. And because of that, I don't have any One Piece figures in my room, but this might be my first one. Ace is a badass, so is this figure. So, I mean, rightfully so. Great job to Megahouse. And then reverse back a couple of stories, going back to things I would buy if I was totally stinking rich. Good Smile Company has unveiled a 1-to-1 scale Sword Art Online Elucidator sword. The company has started accepting pre-orders this last Thursday and is part of Good Smile's high-grade electronic toy line. This amazing sword is equipped with a gyro sensor that can recognize how the toy is being moved, a speaker, and 700 LEDs. The light and the sound of the sword will change according to its movement, as well as different sounds and lights being displayed when the sword is gripped, swung, or senses impact. And if that wasn't enough to sell you on this great sword, users can also activate the Starburst stream attack via the sword's voice recognition. I mean, holy shit, voice recognition. Or you can do it with the press of a button, which is probably for the better because I imagine the command is going to be in Japanese. I don't know how well I'll be able to do that. The sword lights and effects can all be controlled as well via just the regular smartphone app. And now here's where I'm going to lose everybody. I already know. The regular version of this sword will run you about 120,000 yen, which is $1,100. Insane. Now the special edition coming in at 150,000 yen is $1,385, about in that ballpark area. The difference between the two, the regular and the special, is the special edition uses genuine leather for the grip, part of the handle is anodized, and a custom carrying case is included, and it looks pretty badass. And let's just go back to the beginning of the story here, where I would say if I was rich, I would get this 100%. The features on this thing are amazing. The quality looks top tier. Maybe if I start saving now, I can get it, which is kind of ironic because the show is all about virtual reality, and I would be buying a real replica of a virtual reality sword. Yeah, moving on to the next story. And to tag on a little bit more of sword art to that story, in celebration of the light novel's 10th anniversary since the release of its first published volume, they've opened an official Sword Art Online Instagram account. The account is said to provide its own unique type of information about the upcoming 10-year celebration that will be different from the info you can get from its official Twitter. So if you want all your timelines to have sword art stuff in it, check the link in the description. I'll have a link to their Instagram there. You can follow them, and you'll have more sword art than you could ever hope for. And then coming up is the big convention Anime Expo. Will be happening this July. So we do have a couple of Anime Expo stories that we're going to touch on here. In an exclusive report to Anime News Network, the convention is officially adding Akira creator Katsuhiro Otomo to the guest list. Known widely, of course, for creating Akira, as well as directing the anime film adaptation, he is also the author of the manga Domu, as well as other various anime projects like Robot Carnival and Steam Boy. No news on what he will be doing there or how long he will be there, but more details are set to come out the closer we get to Anime Expo, which is July 4th to the 7th. And it'll be pretty sweet to even just get a signature or a picture of the guy. He's an absolute legend in both, the anime and manga genre. And then the next bit and the last bit of AX news for today, we're going to be talking about Warner Bros. Japan revealed a new visual and announced a July 12th premiere for the second season of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon anime this last Friday. But that's not all. The company has also announced that the original light novel author, Fujino Omori, will attend this year's Anime Expo as a guest alongside the anime producer. As of right now, those are three. So the producer, the author, and then the creator of Akira, a huge guest to get. They would be amazing to meet any of them. And if that does not whet your beak enough for Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon news, I have some more. The series has been licensed for streaming by Sentai Filmworks and will screen the first episode of the second season at Anime Expo as well. And then the convention will be hosting the North American premiere of the movie Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Arrow of Orion on July 4th, which is their first day. So, if you're going to Anime Expo, there is plenty of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon news for you. And I want to touch on this. Feels a little weird because I feel like we went through such a dry spout. Like the anime came out, it was so well received. And then we got nothing. And then now we have another season, a movie, everything's coming together for this series. So if you've been a fan, you've been waiting for this, it is a great time for you. And then moving on to a series that I just finished and really liked, Mob Psycho 100 is getting an OVA, and we have some info about that. The official website for the series manga revealed the title, a visual, and the release date. The upcoming OVA is titled Mob Psycho 100, The Spirits and Such Consultation Office's first company outing, a healing trip that warms the heart. And it will debut on DVD and Blu-ray September 25th. The OVA looks like it'll take place after Season 2 because you can see in the visual one character that you only do meet at the tail end of Season 2. So be sure to watch that first. Check out my review that I did just a couple weeks ago, and I'll be looking forward to it 100%. I'll be there. And then in news, I'm sure everybody's already heard, it's only the biggest game on the planet. There was a big Nintendo Direct focusing all on the new main series Pokemon game. I'm not going to fill it up with all that info here, but what I did want to touch on is that we now have a release date for the Generation 8 entry. Both Pokemon Sword and Shield will be coming out on November 15th on the Nintendo Switch. I will be providing a link to the trailer and the Nintendo Direct in the description down below if you want to hear the rest of the news. They really did cover a lot, and I'm not going to break it down here, but check out the Direct. They do a great job of going over what's new, what's good. So if you like Pokemon, check the description down below. Now, if you do like Pokemon, stay with me here. We got another story for you. But maybe you liked Pokemon Go. And maybe you're like, you know what, this game is really fun, but I wish it didn't have the Pokemon in it, Well, I have something for you. Dragon Quest Walk. Square Enix has just announced plans to release a new location-based smartphone game on iOS and Android this year, as well as a closed beta test starting on June 11th. And an interesting thing to add on here is that the app will be using the Google Maps platform to kind of help with its location data. With only a brief bit of actual game footage being shown in the announcement trailer, not much is known about the game other than it is aiming to compete with Pokemon Go. I'm sure we'll get more info once the closed beta goes live and everything will start leaking and people will talk about it. But in the meantime, if you want a Pokemon Go with some sweet monsters designed by Akira Toriyama himself, then keep your eye on Dragon Quest Walk. Then moving on to a couple of news stories coming from Funimation, the company has added some really cool stuff to its streaming platform Funimation Now. The company announced on Tuesday that starting June 10th, which is today if you're watching this the first day it comes out, it will be adding Shin Godzilla, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, and Your Name. I've seen 3 of the 4 of those, so I could personally recommend 3 of the 4 of them, and I've heard nothing but good things about Shin Godzilla, so there's a really big pulls for Funimation Now. This will be the first time they're available for streaming, and they will be available with English subtitles as well as a dub. The movies will be available until August 9th with a paid subscription for both the United States and Canada, so if you haven't seen these movies, I do highly recommend checking them out. Funimation Now, it does cost a little bit of money, but it seems like they're really pimping out their streaming service here, which leads right into our next story. On the English Twitter account for My Hero Academia, it was announced that Funimation will stream the upcoming 4th season of the anime series. This new season will premiere in October, which is also another announcement, and if you're not a manga reader, hold on to your butts. This arc, I personally read the manga, is so good. You guys will not be disappointed. Now, that's kind of all the main info we have. They just announced that Funimation is going to be streaming season 4. I don't know if this means that Crunchyroll and Hulu are not going to get it as well. The previous 3rd season was split. So Funimation did the simul dubs, I think is what they call it. and Crunchyroll and Hulu got the English subbed version. So we'll have to wait and see if that changes up their strategy, but right now it's just stated that Funimation is going to have it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Funimation Now ends up having both the English dub and the sub. They seem to really be pimping out their streaming service, like I said in the last story, so we'll have to wait and see. And I kind of thought this was an interesting look behind the curtain of how TV works. If you've been watching Dragon Ball Super every Saturday on Adult Swim, you may have noticed the animation slowing down in certain parts of the previous week's episode. Well, Jason DeMarco has the answer for you, and he is the Senior Vice President and Creative Director for Adult Swim, and he posted on Twitter this Friday commenting on the recent slowdown in last week's episode of Dragon Ball Super. He stated that this happened because of edits made to scenes that failed the Harding test. And the Harding test is the test that all aired content has to take to make sure it doesn't have flashing frames that could trigger people with epilepsy. DeMarco went on to say that the people behind the edits, they slow down the cuts that fail the test to about 4 frames per second. And that is what could cause the fight scenes to look insanely slow. That's in quotes, by the way. He did go on to thank the fans, though, for informing him of the issue. And he did say he talked to the people in charge of program editing and did ask them to slow down the scenes less. And after testing the new changes, the scenes will look much better going forward, which honestly is great news. I saw a lot of the clips being real memed on Twitter, and like comparisons of the Japanese airing of the episode compared to the Toonami airing of the episode, and it looked really bad. So it's good to know that they are now aware of the issue and they're trying to fix it. We'll have to see what it looks like when new episodes do come out, and we can compare what that is. And if anybody's worried, I don't think this will be an issue on either the DVD or the Blu-ray release of the series. They usually have it in crisp, clean format, and they don't have to follow those TV rules, so we'll be fine there. Next bit of story, which I'm sure will make some people happy out there. The manga for Welcome to the Ballroom is finally returning on July 5th, returning to the monthly shonen magazine. The manga previously went on hiatus in December of 2017 due to the author's health. With the hiatus originally only being planned to last for 2 months, the series never did resume as planned in March of 2018. And then a follow-up announcement was made in the magazine's April 2019 issue that the hiatus would continue on due to continuing health issues with the author. This is obviously pretty big news. I'm a big supporter of not working yourself to death. Obviously, I'm a huge slacker all the way through life, and I'm sure a lot of people at this point thought the series was never going to come back. I mean, 2 years is a long time to take a break and then come back to continue the manga. I mean, big congrats to the author Tomo Takeuchi. I hope you continue to have good health and make a great manga. Good luck. Welcome back. This last story is a short one that I thought was very cool, and it's near and dear to my heart. There is going to be a new 25th anniversary exhibition for the author of Trigun and Blood Blockade Battlefront, Yasuhiro Naito. Arguably, to me, 2 of my all-time favorite series. I would be absolutely pumped to go to this. The exhibition is to be held later this month in Tokyo, and it celebrates the author's 25 years of work as a mangaka and a character designer. An example of the former is his work on the PS2 game and anime Gungrave. The exhibit is set to run this Wednesday, June 12th, and will go for 1 week until the 19th, so not a lot of advance warning to plan my trip up there. And it will be held in the Seibu department store located in Ikebukuro on the 2nd floor in Tokyo in the Seibu Gallery space. They'll be offering daily illustration cards to each visitor with paid admission, as well as raffles for exclusive artwork and some exhibition exclusive merch. I wonder if I could find some way. Hey, kind viewer who's watching this video, are you happening to go to Japan from June 12th to the 19th and you like Trigun and Blood Blockade Battlefront? Well, reach out to me on Twitter at the otalku. I would love to buy some of this exclusive merch. I'm sure there's got to be a way you could get this merch. I see them on the website. I can't put any cool pictures because when I click on them to get a bigger picture, the link doesn't work. So I'll have to keep an eye on it. Maybe when it opens, I'll see if there's some way to order it. I'm sure eBay will have some. It'll probably be ridiculous prices, but big congrats to Yasuhiro Naito once again. He has made 2 of my favorite series. Trigun is all-time favorite series for sure. Trigun, I love that thing. And Blood Blockade Battlefront was a super surprise. I loved both seasons. I want to start reading the manga, but I'm just a lazy fuck. I'm just going to leave it at that. And that is all the news I have for you today. I am recording this about Sunday afternoon, so I may miss some E3 news going into it. And I know this will come out on Monday as well. There's more E3 presentations then. So anything I missed from there, we will touch on next week. And thank you guys for watching. As always, I have been Sam with Otaku. I will catch you guys in the next video. And be sure to leave any comments you guys have below about any of the news stories we cover. If you have any hot take or comment you want to make, I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching, everyone.